Introduction to Business, 2nd edition, an OpenStax textbook. Read along with the full text at openstax.org. This audiobook was produced by Open Audio. Listen for free on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or on our website at openaudio.us.
Chapter 12. Distributing and Promoting Products and Services. Introduction.
Learning Outcomes. After reading this chapter, you should be able to answer these questions. 1. What is the nature and function of distribution? 2. What is wholesaling, and what are the types of wholesalers? 3. What are the different kinds of retail operations? 4. How can supply chain management increase efficiency and customer satisfaction? 5. What is promotion, and what are the key elements of a promotional mix? 6. How are advertising media selected? 7. What is personal selling? 8. What are the goals of a sales promotion, and what are several types of sales promotion? 9. How does public relations fit into the promotional mix? 10. What is social media, and how has it changed promotion? 11. What is e-commerce, and how does it affect promotion?
Exploring Business Careers. Steve Peel, Harley-Davidson. A road not taken is the next adventure waiting. Live to ride, ride to live. These are just a few of the creeds that Harley riders live by. Whether it's the vision of the open road, the shine of chrome, or the smell of dust mixed with exhaust, people are drawn to Harley-Davidson motorcycles. How often do you see someone with Honda tattooed on their arm? Harleys are the stuff that dreams and identities are made of. Matt Ryan, the Chief Marketing and Technology Officer at Harley-Davidson, helps to shape people's dreams. He helps the company use traditional marketing channels and also advertise in the digital age. Harley also, understandably, approaches marketing non-traditionally. The experience that Harley sells is what has given them success. They do not define the experience for the customer. Instead, they leave it up to the individual to make their own experience with their Harley-Davidson product. For some, the experience is freedom. For others, it is a ride to work. And for some riders, it's an entire lifestyle. Harley's promotion of accessories, branded clothing, and gear supports this approach. No two Harleys are the same, nor are the customers. At many Harley-Davidson dealerships, customers can work with a chrome consultant, a specialist who helps with customizing and accessorizing their bike with parts and accessories. This is one of the ways in which Harley makes each bike part of a customer's identity. Part of Harley's focus on experience is its support of motorcycle riding as a sport. On its website and at the dealerships, it provides tips and classes for rider improvement. Through the Harley Owners Group, HOG, a membership group of Harley owners, Harley promotes events and rallies where owners can get together and ride. It is with this focus on the sport that Harley creates its most powerful marketing tool, the Motorcycle Mentor. Through the nature of the Harley community, previous owners coach new owners on buying a more advanced bike, taking an overnight trip, or packing for long-distance rides. Former Director of Customer Experience Steve Peel says, "We would be doing a disservice if we said we reach everyone with our product announcements. But when we put it out, it works its way through the customer base. Our owners sell our products. They encourage people to get more involved in the sport. Tools such as online communities like hdforums.com and the magazine The Enthusiast, the official Harley-Davidson lifestyle publication for HOG members, relaunched in 2020, facilitate that sharing." So how does Harley-Davidson measure its marketing success? It measures customer satisfaction through internal surveys, dealer feedback programs, and participation in industry studies to understand the ownership experience of new motorcycle buyers. Historically, Harley-Davidson has enjoyed exceptional customer loyalty, with studies from the 1990s to 2000s showing that over 90% of Harley owners would repurchase a Harley. This remarkable brand loyalty helped make Harley-Davidson one of the most recognizable brands in the world. It is just another part of Harley's creed. We believe life is what you make it, and we make it one heck of a ride.
This chapter continues to reveal the role of marketing, starting with a discussion of the distribution system and concluding with a look at traditional and non-traditional marketing channels. It explores how organizations use a distribution system to enhance the value of a product, and examines the methods used to move products to locations where consumers wish to buy them. Distribution is also known as place in terms of the 5 Ps, key components of the marketing mix. It is important to have an understanding of the members of a distribution system and to explore the role of wholesalers and retailers in delivering products to customers. In addition to understanding how the supply chain works to increase efficiency and customer satisfaction, marketers must also develop tactics for promotion, the last element of the marketing mix. Promotion is multifaceted and includes traditional advertising, sales promotion, personal selling, public relations, social media, and e-commerce. It can also include sponsorships, general publicity, and participating in industry events such as trade shows.
.1 The nature and functions of distribution. Learning objective. What is the nature and function of distribution?
Distribution is efficiently managing the acquisition of raw materials by the factory and the movement of products from the producer or manufacturer to business, B2B, users, and consumers. It includes many facets such as location, hours, website presence, logistics, atmospherics, inventory management, supply chain management, and others. Logistics activities are usually the responsibility of the marketing department and are part of the large series of activities included in the supply chain. A supply chain is the system through which an organization acquires raw material, produces products, and delivers the products and services to its customers. Exhibit 12.2 illustrates a typical supply chain. Supply chain management helps increase the efficiency of logistics service by minimizing inventory and moving goods efficiently from producers to the ultimate users. On their way, from producers to end users and consumers, products pass through a series of marketing entities known as a distribution channel. We will look first at the entities that make up a distribution channel, and then examine the functions that channels serve.
Exhibit 12.2 A typical supply chain. This diagram outlines the linear flow of products and materials from their origin all the way to the end consumer, using the production and distribution of compact discs as a practical example. The production stage. The journey begins at the top with the suppliers of raw materials, represented by a large cargo truck delivering the necessary components. These materials are directed down into the CD factory, where the physical manufacturing takes place. As the output leaves the factory floor, the raw materials have been successfully transformed into finished CDs. Distribution and retail. Once manufactured, the finished products move forward into the logistics network, arriving first at a wholesaler or distribution center, which is depicted by a worker operating a forklift. From this initial warehouse, the goods travel to various retailers, wholesalers, distribution centers, represented by a cluster of local commercial buildings. The end consumer. Finally, the supply chain completes its journey. The products are transferred from these retail and distribution hubs directly to the customer, who is shown holding the completed CD.
Marketing intermediaries in the distribution channel. A distribution channel is made up of marketing intermediaries, or organizations that assist in moving goods and services from producers to end users and consumers. Marketing intermediaries are in the middle of the distribution process, between the producer and the end user. The following marketing intermediaries most often appear in the distribution channel. Agents and brokers. Agents are sales representatives of manufacturers and wholesalers, and brokers are entities that bring buyers and sellers together. Both agents and brokers are usually hired on commission basis by either a buyer or a seller. Agents and brokers are go-betweens whose job is to make deals. They do not own or take possession of goods. Industrial distributors. Industrial distributors are independent wholesalers that buy related product lines from many manufacturers and sell them to industrial users. They often have a sales force to call on purchasing agents, make deliveries, extend credit, and provide information. Industrial distributors are used in such industries as large equipment manufacturing, consumer goods production, and agriculture. Wholesalers. Wholesalers are firms that sell finished goods to retailers, manufacturers, and institutions, such as educational institutions, local government departments, and hospitals. Historically, their function has been to buy from manufacturers and sell to retailers. Retailers. Retailers are firms that sell goods to consumers and to industrial users for their own consumption. At the end of the distribution channel are final consumers and industrial users. Industrial users are firms that buy products for internal use or for producing other products or services. They include manufacturers, electronics firms, airlines, and service institutions, such as hotels, hospitals, and schools. Exhibit 12.3 shows various ways marketing intermediaries can be linked. For instance, a manufacturer may sell to a wholesaler that sells to a retailer that in turn sells to a customer. In any of these distribution systems, goods and services are physically transferred from one organization to the next. As each takes possession of the products, it may take legal ownership of them. As the exhibit indicates, distribution channels can handle either consumer products or industrial products.
Exhibit 12.3 Channels of distribution for B2B and consumer products. This diagram details the various paths ranging from direct routes to multi-tiered intermediary networks that goods and services travel to reach their final buyers. The chart is split into two primary categories: consumer products channels and industrial products channels. But rather than getting bogged down reading every single arrow, we can narrate this visually busy layout by focusing on the strategic story of how businesses actually choose these routes. Take everyday consumer products. Because manufacturers are trying to reach millions of individual people buying in small quantities, these channels tend to be longer and crowded with middlemen. For example, a small local hardware store or clothing boutique can't afford to buy massive bulk shipments straight from a factory. Instead, they rely on a wholesaler who buys in massive quantities, breaks those shipments down, and sells smaller batches to the retailer who finally sells to you. In other cases, speed is everything. If you are a dairy farmer or produce grower, you can't afford delays, so you hire a specialized food broker to quickly negotiate deals with grocery chains before your goods spoil. Of course, sometimes companies bypass these steps entirely, like when you buy directly from a farmer at a local market or download software directly from Microsoft's website. On the business-to-business side, the game changes completely. Since industrial buyers are fewer, highly concentrated, and buy in massive volumes, B2B channels are much shorter and more direct. If a company is buying something incredibly complex or expensive, like a commercial airplane or a new office building, they don't use a middleman. They deal directly with the manufacturer to make sure the technical specs are perfect. But for cheaper everyday business supplies, like safety goggles or hand tools, manufacturers will use industrial distributors. These distributors act as local B2B warehouses, keeping items in stock so local businesses can get them exactly when they need them. Ultimately, whether a company uses a direct path or a complex network of partners, the goal is always the same: finding the most efficient way to match how a product is made with how the customer wants to buy it.
The functions of distribution channels. Why do distribution channels exist? Why can't every firm sell its products directly to the end user or consumer? Why are go-betweens needed? Channels serve a number of functions. Channels reduce the number of transactions. Channels make distribution simpler by reducing the number of transactions required to get a product from the manufacturer to the consumer. For example, If there are 4 students in a course, and a professor requires 5 textbooks, each from a different publisher, a total of 20 transactions would be necessary to accomplish the sale of the books. If the bookstore serves as a go-between, the number of transactions is reduced to 9. Each publisher sells to one bookstore rather than to 4 students. Each student buys from one bookstore instead of from 5 publishers. We discuss this next in Exhibit 12.4.
Exhibit 12.4. How distribution channels reduce the number of transactions. This diagram illustrates a fundamental reason why distribution channels exist: to dramatically simplify buying and selling by reducing the sheer volume of transactions required to get goods from producers to consumers. Using a school textbook scenario, it visually contrasts a chaotic, direct purchasing network with a streamlined system utilizing a single retail intermediary. To understand why we don't just buy everything directly from the factory, let's look at a quick everyday math problem that perfectly explains the value of a middleman. Imagine you are one of 4 students in a college course, and your professor requires 5 different textbooks for the semester, each put out by a different publisher. If there were no retail bookstores to help you, every single student would have to contact all 5 publishers individually to buy their books. 5 publishers multiplied by 4 students means a chaotic web of 20 separate transactions, 20 orders to place, 20 credit cards to process, and 20 packages to ship. But look at what happens when we introduce just one marketing intermediary, like a university bookstore, to act as a go-between. Instead of dealing with 4 individual students, each of the 5 publishers sells their books in one batch to the single bookstore. Then, each of the 4 students walks into that bookstore and makes just one single purchase to get all 5 books. By putting a single intermediary in the middle, the equation completely changes from multiplication to addition. 5 publishers plus 4 students equals only 9 total transactions. This simple shift frees manufacturers from the exhausting, expensive details of dealing directly with every individual end user, while giving customers a convenient, one-stop shop experience.
Dealing with channel intermediaries frees producers from many of the details of distribution activity. Producers are traditionally not as efficient nor as willing to sell products directly to end users as channel members are. First, producers may wish to focus on production. They may feel that they cannot both produce and distribute in a competitive way. On the other hand, manufacturers are interested in dealing directly with giant retailers, such as Target, which offer huge sales opportunities to producers. Channels ease the flow of goods. Channels make distribution easier in several ways. The first is by sorting, which consists of the following. Sorting out. Breaking many different items into separate stocks that are similar. Shampoos, for instance, are sorted by type, such as volumizing, hydrating, or deep cleaning. Another example would be different lines of clothing: designer, moderate, and economy lines. Accumulating. Bringing similar stocks together into a larger quantity. A case of hydrating shampoo could be paired with hydrating conditioner and shipped together to the retailer in a bulk quantity. Another example would be to merge several lines of pants from different designers together. Allocating. Breaking similar products into smaller and smaller lots. Allocating at the wholesale level is called breaking bulk. For instance, a large order of flowers delivered to a local florist can be broken down into small bouquets, or a tank car load of milk could be broken down into gallon jugs. The process of allocating generally is done when the goods are dispersed by region and as ownership of the goods changes. The processes of sorting, accumulating, and allocating are essential tasks for the distribution of goods. These processes serve not only the individual consumer, but also the larger industrial consumers, with higher levels of consumption. A second way channels ease the flow of goods is by locating buyers for merchandise. A wholesaler must find the right retailers to sell a profitable volume of merchandise. A wholesaler of sporting goods, for instance, needs to find retailers for their products to sell to consumers interested in sporting goods. Retailers have to understand the buying habits of consumers and put stores where consumers want and expect to find the merchandise, Every member of a distribution channel must locate buyers for the products it is trying to sell. Channel members also store merchandise so that goods are available when consumers want to buy them. The high cost of retail space often means many goods are stored by the wholesaler or manufacturer.
Concept check. 1. List and define the marketing intermediaries that make up a distribution channel. 2. Provide an example of a strategic channel alliance. 3. How do channels reduce the number of transactions?
Twelve point two. Wholesaling. Learning objective. What is wholesaling, and what are the types of wholesalers?
Wholesalers are channel members that buy finished products from manufacturers and sell them to retailers. Retailers, in turn, sell the products to consumers. Wholesalers also sell products to institutions, such as government entities, educational institutions, and hospitals, for use in performing their own missions. A manufacturer, for instance, might buy computer paper from Veritiv, a major paper and packaging wholesaler. A hospital might buy its cleaning supplies from wholesalers such as Imperial Dade or through brands like Legas, now part of Staples' distribution network. Sometimes wholesalers sell products to manufacturers for use in the manufacturing process. A contractor who builds outdoor sheds might buy lumber from one wholesaler and electrical components from another. Some wholesalers even sell to other wholesalers, creating yet another stage in the distribution channel. Types of wholesaler intermediaries. The two main types of wholesalers are merchant wholesalers and agents and brokers. Merchant wholesalers take title to the product, ownership rights. Agents and brokers simply facilitate the sale of a product from producer to end user. Merchant wholesalers. Merchant wholesalers make up the majority of all wholesaling establishments and more than 60% of all wholesale sales. A merchant wholesaler is an institution that buys goods from manufacturers and resells them to businesses, government agencies, other wholesalers, or retailers. All merchant wholesalers take title to the goods they sell. Agents and brokers. As mentioned earlier, agents represent manufacturers and wholesalers. Manufacturers' representatives, also called manufacturers' agents, represent non-competing manufacturers. These salespeople function as independent agents rather than as salaried employees of manufacturers. They do not take title to or possession of merchandise. They get commissions if they make sales, and nothing if they don't. They are found in a variety of industries, including aerospace and defense, consumer electronics, heating and electrical, and safety equipment. Brokers bring buyers and sellers together. Like agents, brokers do not take title to merchandise. They receive commissions on sales, and they have little say over company sales policies. Their job is to connect buyers and sellers who might not otherwise know each other. These markets include real estate, agriculture, insurance, and commodities.
Exhibit 12.5. At both Sam's and Costco, high-end jewelry, including diamonds, is priced well below its market value. Why do cash and carry wholesalers offer jewelry for considerably lower prices than those offered by high-end jewelers?
Concept check. 1. Define wholesaling and describe what wholesalers do. 2. Describe merchant wholesalers. 3. Explain the difference between agents and brokers.
Twelve point three. The competitive world of retailing. Learning objective. What are the different kinds of retail operations?
Over 15 million Americans are engaged in retailing. Of this number, over half work in service businesses, such as hair care establishments, attorneys' offices, or recreational facilities such as amusement parks. Although most retailers are involved in small businesses, most sales are made by the giant retail organizations, such as Target, Home Depot, or Kohl's. These large retailers carry the majority of retail sales annually, and the retail sector as a whole accounts for nearly 30% of U.S. employment. Retailers feel the impact of changes in the economy more than many other types of businesses. Survival depends on keeping up with changing lifestyles and customer shopping patterns. In recent years, online retailing trends have significantly impacted retailing organizations, providing more opportunity for smaller retailers and more competition for larger retailers. Types of retail operations. There is a great deal of variety in retail operations. The major types of retailers are described in Table 12.1. There are several ways that retailers can position themselves in the marketplace. For example, they can be a convenience retailer or a specialty retailer. How they define their business impacts all aspects of the company. Most retailers today also have e-commerce stores available through their websites, extending their reach beyond a physical store location.
Table 12.1. Retailing takes many forms. This table breaks down the diverse landscape of modern retailing, categorizing stores and digital operations by their operational strategies, pricing models, and target customer needs. By categorizing these distinct retail formats, the chart provides a clear overview of how different sellers position themselves in the marketplace. To understand the retail landscape, it is helpful to look at the specific characteristics, descriptions, and real-world examples of the many forms that retailing can take. First, we have department stores, which house many departments under one roof. Each of these departments is treated as a separate buying center to achieve economies of buying, promotion, and control, with classic examples being Macy's, Nordstrom, Bloomingdale's, and Kohl's. Next are specialty stores, which specialize in a specific category of merchandise and carry a complete assortment, much like Toys R Us or Zales Jewelers. For quick and everyday needs, convenience stores like 7-Eleven and Circle K offer convenience goods with long store hours and quick checkout. Similarly, supermarkets, such as Safeway, Kroger, and Winn-Dixie, specialize in a wide assortment of food, utilizing a self-service model. When it comes to high-volume and value-driven formats, big-box retailers like Walmart, Target, and IKEA compete primarily on the basis of low prices and high turnover, while offering few services. Taking discount pricing a step further, off-price retailers like TJ Maxx and HomeGoods sell merchandise at prices 25% or more below traditional department store prices, typically operating in a Spartan environment. We also see factory outlets, which are owned by the manufacturer itself, to sell closeouts, factory seconds, and canceled orders. Examples include Levi Strauss and Dansk. Finally, retailing extends beyond traditional storefronts. This includes vending machines that sell merchandise by machine, such as those operated by Canteen. Direct selling, which involves personal sales via multi-level marketing, as seen with Herbalife, and online-only retailers like Wayfair and Chewy, which conduct all selling over the internet.
Atmosphere and retail image. In considering retailing as a distribution strategy, place in the 5 Ps, it is important to understand that place includes more than channel members or logistics. It also includes atmospherics, the image of the actual retailing store, or in the case of non-store retailing, the platform from which the product is offered, such as their website or social media accounts. An important task in retailing is to create this image. Marketers combine the store's merchandise mix, service level, and atmosphere to make up a retail image. Atmosphere refers to the physical layout and decor of the store. They can create a relaxed or busy feeling, a sense of luxury, a friendly or cold attitude, and a sense of organization or clutter. These are the most influential factors in creating a store's atmosphere. Employee type and density. Employee type refers to an employee's general characteristics, for instance, approachable, knowledgeable, or service-oriented. Density is the number of employees per 1,000 square feet of selling space. A discount retailer might have a low employee density, especially if it utilizes self-checkout stations to create an atmosphere with less pressure on the customer to make a purchase. In contrast, a car dealership or furniture store might have a high employee density so that the customer can have one-on-one attention, increasing the chances of making a sale. Merchandise, type, and density. The type of merchandise carried and how it is displayed add to the atmosphere the retailer is trying to create. Often, high-end retailers such as Nordstrom carry more expensive brand names and have more organized and creative merchandise displays. Other retailers, such as Dollar Tree, display goods in a typical aisle and shelf setup with the goal of displaying as many products as possible because they are targeting value-conscious buyers who are more motivated by price than brand. Fixture type and density. Fixtures can be elegant, rich woods, or modern, contemporary colors and finishes. Or they can be old, beat-up tables, as in an antique store. The fixtures should be consistent with the general atmosphere the store is trying to create. By displaying its merchandise on tables and shelves rather than on traditional pipe racks, retailers like The Gap and Banana Republic create a relaxed and organized atmosphere. In addition to traditional display racks, Cabela's retail stores may feature giant aquariums stocked with carp, trout, and other fish, or dioramas featuring elephants, lions, zebras, hyenas, and other animals. Cabela's flagship stores can attract millions of visitors annually, functioning as tourist destinations. For example, one Michigan location drew 6 million visitors per year and became the state's largest tourist attraction. Across all Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's locations, which merged in 2017, the combined chain attracts over 200 million visitors annually. It is not unusual for someone to drive many miles to get to a Cabela's, where you can often see license plates from many U.S. states and Canadian provinces. These stores function as destination retail experiences, rather than just shopping locations. Sound. Sound can be pleasant or unpleasant for a customer. Classical music at an upscale restaurant helps create ambiance, just as more upbeat music does at a sports bar or casual dining establishment. Music can also entice customers to stay in the store longer and buy more, or it can encourage them to eat quickly and leave a table for others. Odors. Smell can either stimulate or detract from sales. The smell of pastries and breads entices bakery customers, as does the smell of freshly brewed coffee at a local breakfast cafe. Conversely, customers can be repulsed by off-putting odors, such as cigarette smoke, cleaning chemicals, musty smells, or strong room deodorizers.
Exhibit 12.6. Whether peering through department store windows, buying holiday gifts, or going on a spending spree, consumers have varied shopping habits. Research indicates that shopping can activate key areas of the brain, impacting a person's mood. Feelings of pleasure and satisfaction can result from making a purchase, and the perception of getting a good deal can produce what researchers call a shopper's high. How might retailers use atmosphere to stimulate consumers' shopping behavior?
Expanding around the globe. Creative retailing at Selfridges. To steer traffic to its flagship store in London, Selfridges sought divine intervention. That is, a 50-foot statue of Jesus, the small-scale replica of Rio de Janeiro's famous monument, gazed down on shoppers during a month-long Brazilian-themed promotion. Combined with a radical redesign of the retail space that makes each of Selfridges' 4 outlets feel more like a collection of quirky boutiques than one gargantuan marketplace. Stunts like the Brazil 40 Degrees celebration have transformed the once-staid 95-year-old British retail chain into a premier arbiter of hip. Selfridges' success has spurred retailers worldwide to take a closer look. A department store chief who has not made his way to Selfridges to study its operation, says Arnold Aronson, former CEO of Saks Fifth Avenue, is an executive not doing his job. Typically, department stores develop their own merchandising strategies, resulting in a retail space crowded with Tommy Hilfiger, Ralph Lauren, and other recognizable brands arranged in displays that rarely vary from one chain to the next. Selfridges combines traditional department store organization with innovative experiential retail. While maintaining conventional product departments, beauty, women's, men's, etc., the store features dedicated brand spaces where designers and vendors create their own displays. Selfridges also incorporates lifestyle-focused pop-ups and themed installations, such as the Corner Shop, which rotates concepts like Harry Styles' Pleasing brand, and Sportopia, a sports lifestyle experience. The recently renovated Beauty Hall features over 300 brands, each with its own counter and display space, alongside experiential elements like the beauty spot for brand residencies. This helps expose customers to merchandise they might not otherwise see. Selfridges asked a tattoo and body piercing parlor called Metamorphosis to set up shop next to some women's fashion vendors. Metamorphosis, a tattoo and body piercing studio, was such a hit when it opened in Selfridges Oxford Street in 2003 that it expanded to Selfridges Manchester in 2004, demonstrating how department stores were evolving to include non-traditional retail concepts. Selfridges is also known for its happenings. In 2017, Selfridges hosted a temporary interfaith charity shop within their Oxford Street store, as an art installation curated by filmmaker Miranda July. The pop-up ran for 2 months and sold low-cost secondhand goods alongside luxury merchandise, partnering with Islamic Relief, Jewish charity Norwood, and other faith-based organizations. The project demonstrated how luxury retailers experiment with unconventional retail concepts. Critical thinking questions. 1. Discuss whether Selfridges' store design and approach to retail can stand the test of time and not become outdated quickly. Do you think they are too far outside of the norm for retail firms? How might this impact sales? 2. Would Selfridges be successful in the United States? Why or why not?
Concept check. 1. Describe at least 5 types of in-store retailing and 4 forms of non-store retailing. 2. What factors most influence a retail store's atmosphere?
12.4. Using supply chain management to increase efficiency and customer satisfaction. Learning objective. How can supply chain management increase efficiency and customer satisfaction?
Distribution, place, is an important part of the marketing mix. Retailers don't sell products they can't deliver, and salespeople don't or shouldn't promise deliveries they can't make. Late deliveries and broken promises may mean the loss of a customer. Accurate order filling and billing, timely delivery, and arrival in good condition are important to the success of the product. The goal of supply chain management is to create a satisfied customer by coordinating all of the activities of the supply chain members into a seamless process. An important aspect of supply chain management is to acknowledge that it is customer-driven, and therefore, customer needs often have a primary role in decision-making. Some mass-produced products are successful. However, consumers often expect product and service customization and configurations that match their unique needs. For example, Dell builds computers according to customer specifications for amount of memory, hard drive space, and other options. Dell works with contract manufacturers, ODMs, who build products to Dell's specifications. Final assembly occurs at facilities around the world, including in China, Vietnam, Malaysia, Ireland, Mexico, India, Poland, where microprocessors, software, and other key components are added. In recent years, Dell has been diversifying its supply chain to reduce dependence on any single country, particularly China, due to geopolitical tensions. Finished products are then sent to Dell-operated distribution centers, where they are packaged and shipped to customers. Through the channel partnership of suppliers, manufacturers, wholesalers, and retailers along the entire supply chain, who work together toward the common goal of creating customer value. Supply chain management allows companies to respond with the unique product configuration demanded by the customer. Today, supply chain management plays a dual role. First, as a communicator of customer demand that extends from the point of sale all the way back to the supplier, and second, as a physical flow process that engineers the timely and cost-effective movement of goods through the entire supply pipeline. Accordingly, supply chain managers are responsible for making channel strategy decisions, coordinating the sourcing and procurement of raw materials, scheduling production, processing orders, managing inventory, transporting and storing supplies and finished goods, and coordinating customer service activities. Supply chain managers are also responsible for the management of information that flows through the supply chain. Coordinating the relationships between the company and its external partners, such as vendors, carriers, and third-party companies, is also a critical function of supply chain management. Because supply chain managers play such a major role in both cost control and customer satisfaction, they are more valuable than ever. For products that are services, the distribution channel is based primarily on location of the services, such as where the company has its headquarters. The layout of the area in which the service is provided, for example, the interior of a hair salon, alternative locations for the presentation of services, such as an accounting firm visiting a client's site location, and elements of atmosphere, such as furniture and decor selections in a doctor's office waiting area, which can influence consumers. Services companies also utilize the traditional entities of distribution for any actual goods they sell or supplies they must purchase.
Concept check. 1. What is the goal of supply chain management? 2. What does it mean for a supply chain to be customer-driven? 3. How does distribution place differ for services products?
.5 Promotion strategy. Learning objective. What is promotion, and what are the key elements of a promotional mix?
Promotion is an attempt by marketers to inform, persuade, or remind consumers and B2B users to influence their opinion or elicit a response. Most firms use some form of promotion. Because company goals vary widely, so do promotional strategies. The goal is to stimulate action from the people or organizations of a target market. In a profit-oriented firm, the desired action is for the consumer to buy the promoted item. Mrs. Smith's, for instance, wants people to buy more frozen pies. Not-for-profit organizations seek a variety of actions with their promotions. Promotions such as anti-littering initiatives, driver safety messages, and donation campaigns are geared toward influencing people's behaviors. These are examples of products that are ideas marketed to specific target markets. Promotional goals include creating awareness, getting people to try products, providing information, retaining loyal customers, increasing the use of products, and identifying potential customers, as well as teaching potential service clients what is needed to co-create the services provided. Any promotional campaign may seek to achieve one or more of these goals. 1. Creating awareness. All too often, firms go out of business because people don't know they exist, or what they do. This can sometimes be the case for small businesses. Simply putting up a sign and opening the door is rarely enough. Promotion through social media platforms, local sponsorship opportunities, and joining groups such as the Chamber of Commerce can create awareness of a new business or product. Large companies often use catchy slogans to build brand awareness. For example, Liberty Mutual uses the team of Doug and Limu Emu to market their products. Clever ads with memorable scenarios, such as a streaker at the Super Bowl, have brought awareness to the brand plus a fan following on social media, enhancing customer engagement. 2. Getting consumers to try products. Promotion is almost always used to get people to try a new product or to get non-users to try an existing product. Sometimes, free samples are given away. For instance, often in membership stores such as Sam's or Costco, as you wander through the food section, new products are available to sample at in-store kiosks. Coupons and trial-size containers of products are also common tactics used to tempt people to try a product. Celebrities are also used to get people to try products. Selena Gomez, for example, partnered with Oreo to launch Selena's Signature Oreo, a campaign that also integrates social media and technology to give access to exclusive music and content when purchased. Kate Murphy, Director of Strategic Partnerships at the social marketing platform CrowdTap, weighed in on the strategy. Celebrity endorsements can provide immense value to a product/brand when done right, Murphy said. If a celebrity aligns with a product, they bring a level of trust and familiarity to the table. 3. Providing information. Informative promotion is more common in the early stages of the product lifecycle. An informative promotion may explain what ingredients, for example, fiber, will do for a consumer's health. Describe why the product is better, for example, 5G versus lower speed networks. Inform the customer of a new low price, or explain where the item may be purchased. People typically will not buy a product or support a not-for-profit organization until they know what it will do and how it may benefit them. Thus, an informative ad may stimulate interest in a product. Consumer watchdogs and social critics applaud the informative function of promotion because it helps consumers make more intelligent purchase decisions. Starkist, for instance, lets customers know that its tuna is dolphin safe and ethically sourced. 4. Keeping loyal customers. Promotion is also used to keep people from switching brands. Slogans such as Campbell's Soup's good and Intel Inside remind consumers about the brand. Marketers also remind users that the brand is better than the competition. For years, Pepsi has claimed it has the taste that consumers prefer. Geico Insurance brags that 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on insurance. Such advertising reminds customers about the quality of the product or service. Firms can also help keep customers loyal by telling them when a product or service is improved. Domino's aired candid advertisements about the quality of their product and revamped their delivery operations to improve service. Their advertisements highlight quality ingredients and the use of their online and app ordering to facilitate order accuracy and quick delivery. According to University of Maryland marketing professor Roland Rust, delivery stands out in how Domino's has broadly improved its quality, and the customized delivery vehicles are a competitive advantage. 5. Increasing the amount and frequency of use. Promotion is often used to get people to use more of a product and to use it more often. The National Cattlemen's Beef Association reminds consumers, beef, it's what's for dinner. The most popular promotion to increase the use of a product may be frequent flyer or dash user programs. The Marriott Bonvoy Member Program awards points for each dollar spent at a Marriott property. At the highest levels, members receive upgrades to select suites and expanded breakfast offerings, and a variety of other benefits. 6. Identifying target customers. Promotion helps find customers. One way to do this is to list a website as part of the promotion. For instance, promotions in the Wall Street Journal and Bloomberg Businessweek regularly include web addresses on businesses they feature or topics they address in their stories to target interested consumers. Through analytics of data such as ad clicks and video plays, combined with demographic information gathered from social media sites, companies can better define their target market. Fidelity Investments ads pose a call to action to their customers by stating, "Be invested," encouraging consumers to take ownership of their financial future. These ads are shown through multiple channels and direct consumers to the company website. Pop-up, banner, and sidebar ads on websites, such as a Spectrum banner on the Wall Street Journal site, encourage consumers to visit the website to receive the most recent promotion offered by the company for high-speed wireless connections. These websites typically will ask for your email address when you seek additional information. 7. Teaching the customer. For service products, it is often imperative to actually teach the potential client the reasons for certain parts of a service. In services, the service providers work with customers to perform the service. This is called co-creation. For example, an engineer will need to spend extensive time with team members from a client company and actually teach the team members what the design process will be, how the interaction of getting information for the design will work, and at what points each part of the service will be delivered so that ongoing changes can be made to the design. For services products, this is more involved than just providing information. It is actually teaching the client. The promotional mix. The combination of traditional advertising, personal selling, sales promotion, public relations, social media, and e-commerce used to promote a product is called the promotional mix. Each firm creates a unique promotional mix for each product, but the goal is always to deliver the firm's message efficiently and effectively to the target audience. These are the elements of the promotional mix. Traditional advertising. Any paid form of company or organization promotion, which may be delivered in a variety of ways and formats. For example, outdoor advertising, broadcast advertising, or printed promotional pieces are traditional forms of advertising. Personal selling. A face-to-face presentation to a prospective buyer. Sales promotion. Marketing activities. Other than personal selling, traditional advertising, public relations, social media, and e-commerce that stimulate consumer buying, including coupons and samples, displays, shows, and exhibitions, demonstrations, and other types of selling efforts. Public relations. The linking of organizational goals with key aspects of the public interest and the development of programs designed to earn public understanding and acceptance. Public relations can include lobbying, publicity, special events, internal publications, and media such as a company's internal communication network. Online advertising and promotion. There are several opportunities for businesses and organizations to advertise online. The majority have dedicated company websites that can be promoted through search engine optimization. Many also have companion social media sites, including accounts on Facebook, X, Instagram, and TikTok, that can promote the company and specific products or services. Through these social media platforms, firms can develop and pay for pop-up ads, ads in feeds, banner ads, and sidebar ads. With the data available, these ads can be targeted to specific demographic, psychographic, and geographic groups. Finally, through virtual word of mouth and influencer support, advertising and promotion can happen organically. E-commerce. The use of a company's website to generate sales through online ordering, information, interactive components such as games, and other elements of the website. Website development is mandatory in today's business world. Understanding how to develop and utilize a website to generate sales is imperative for any marketer. Ideally, marketing communications from each promotional mix element, personal selling, traditional advertising, sales promotion, public relations, social media, and e-commerce, should be integrated. That is, the communication reaching the customer should be similar in context and message, regardless of whether it comes from a print ad, a salesperson, a social media posting, or an influencer endorsement. Integrated marketing communications. The complex task of managing the ever-increasing promotion channels and opportunities has propelled many companies to adopt the concept of integrated marketing communications, IMC. IMC involves carefully coordinating all promotional activities, traditional advertising, sales promotion, public relations, online advertising and promotion, e-commerce, packaging, and other forms of promotion, to produce a consistent, unified message that is customer-focused. Following the concept of IMC, marketing managers carefully work out the roles the various promotional elements will play in the marketing mix. Timing of promotional activities is coordinated, and the results of each campaign are carefully monitored to improve future use of the promotional mix tools. Typically, a company appoints a marketing communications director who has overall responsibility for integrating the company's marketing communications. GoPro relies on IMC to build their brand and a community centered on user-generated content. Through their campaign to turn customers into creators, they have essentially turned marketing over to their customers. GoPro's advertising and promotion activities center on adventure and feature content from their users. This is integrated across multiple marketing channels. The company created a YouTube channel to highlight the best videos from users, and it is connected to other social media sites such as Instagram and Facebook. GoPro regularly runs contests through the platform to generate high-quality content. The message extends to broadcast media and in-store signage and displays showing user-created content. Through strategic IMC, GoPro has created a sustainable, cost-effective marketing campaign to promote their brand and image. The sections that follow examine the elements of the promotional mix in more detail.
Exhibit 12.7. When Martha Stewart and Snoop Dogg went public with their friendship, marketers took notice. Although they have been friends since the early 2000s, it wasn't until they both starred in a Comedy Central program in 2015 that their friendship gained public attraction. Since then, the duo has appeared in several ads together and promoted the Olympics. Their friendship is promoted through their individual social media sites, as well as with the companies that they promote. What challenges and payoffs are associated with integrated marketing communications?
Concept check. 1. What is the objective of a promotional campaign? 2. What is the promotional mix? 3. What are the features of an integrated marketing communications campaign?
.6. The huge impact of advertising. Learning objective. How are advertising media selected?
Most Americans are bombarded daily with advertisements to buy things. Traditional advertising is any paid form of company or organization promotion that is delivered in a variety of ways and formats. For example, outdoor advertising, broadcast advertising, or printed promotional pieces are traditional forms of advertising. In the United States, children are exposed to more than 20,000 ads each year. Adults are exposed to between 4,000 and 10,000 ads each day, which is more than 2 million advertisements yearly. The money that big corporations spend on advertising is in the billions of dollars. Total advertising expenses in the US were estimated at nearly $400 billion in 2025. Global advertising expenditures are over $1 trillion annually. Amazon has been the largest advertiser in the US annually in the 2020s, with $21.4 billion in spending in 2024. It is also the largest global spender at over $20 billion in 2023. Samsung was a sponsor of the 2026 Olympics in Milan and provided special edition phones to the athletes. Ads for the 2026 Super Bowl cost between $8 and $10 million for a 30-second commercial. Apple secured exclusive rights to advertise with Major League Soccer, MLS, for the next 10 years at a cost of $2.5 billion. The impact of technology and the internet on traditional advertising. Digital technology is delivering content anytime, anywhere. Audiences are fragmented, and their attention is spread across multiple channels and devices, making them tougher than ever to reach. Each year, the Super Bowl captures millions of viewers. But events such as the World Cup and the Olympic Games are capturing over 2 billion viewers each. Entertainment is widely digitized. Magazines, books, movies, games, and many other forms of entertainment can all be accessed through a device. In 2025, 94% of the US population has access to broadband connections. That percentage is lower in rural areas at 72%. Technology is driving many of the changes in advertising, but so is consumer behavior. Advertiser questions abound. How do you adjust your marketing strategy to reach younger consumers through their devices? How do you optimize your TV advertising when users often have the ability to skip ads? How can you leverage social media platforms to promote your product or service and extend your reach to new audiences? How do you control the message across social media platforms? What role do influencers play in promoting your business? How do you create a website that fosters sales, is informative, and engaging? Do you consider other forms of promotion, such as product placement or podcasts? We will touch on each of these later in the chapter. Choosing advertising media. The channels through which advertising is carried to prospective customers are the advertising media. Both product and institutional ads appear in all the major advertising media. Each company must decide which media are best for its products. Two of the main factors in making that choice are the cost of the medium and the audience reached by it. Advertising costs and market penetration. Cost per contact is the cost of reaching one member of the target market. Naturally, as the size of the audience increases, so does the total cost. Cost per contact enables an advertiser to compare media vehicles such as broadcast media versus print media. An advertiser debating whether to spend local advertising dollars for media spots, such as at local sporting events or through sponsorship of a youth sports team, could consider the cost per contact of each. The advertiser might then pick the vehicle with the lowest cost per contact to maximize advertising punch for the money spent. Often, costs are expressed on a cost per thousand CPM contacts basis. Reach is the number of different target consumers who are exposed to a commercial at least once during a specific period. Media plans for product introductions and attempts at increasing brand awareness usually emphasize reach. For example, an advertiser might try to reach 70% of the target audience during the first 3 months of the campaign. Because the typical ad is short-lived and often only a small portion of an ad may be perceived at one time, advertisers repeat their ads so consumers will remember the message. Frequency is the number of times an individual is exposed to a message. Average frequency is used by advertisers to measure the intensity of a specific medium's coverage. Media selection is also a matter of matching the advertising medium with the product's target market. If marketers are trying to reach teenagers, they might select TikTok or Instagram. If they are trying to reach older consumers, they might consider print media rather than online targeted ads. A medium's ability to reach a precisely defined market is its audience selectivity. Some media vehicles, such as broadcast media and local advertising, might appeal to a wide cross-section of the population. Others, such as interest-specific websites or genre-specific radio stations, appeal to very specific groups. Marketers must also consider utilizing various social media platforms and which platforms are most likely to reach the targeted market.
Concept check. 1. How is technology impacting the way advertisers reach their markets? 2. What are the two main factors that should be considered when selecting advertising media?
.7 The importance of personal selling. Learning objective. What is personal selling?
Advertising acquaints potential customers with a product and thereby makes personal selling easier. Personal selling is a face-to-face sales presentation to a prospective customer. Sales jobs are found in a variety of industries, from retail establishments to engineering firms to the financial industry. Over 2.3 million people in the United States are employed in a sales job. Slightly under 30% of them are women. The number of people employed in advertising is around 1.4 million in the United States. Personal selling offers several advantages over other forms of promotion. Personal selling provides a detailed explanation or demonstration of the product. This capability is especially desirable for complex or new goods and services. The sales message can be varied according to the motivations and interests of each prospective customer. Moreover, when the prospect has questions or raises objections, the salesperson is there to provide explanations. In contrast, advertising and sales promotion do not have the customer in front of them to respond to objections or questions. Personal selling can be directed only to qualified prospects. Other forms of promotion include some unavoidable waste because many people in the audience are not prospective customers. Personal selling costs can be controlled by adjusting the size of the sales force and resulting expenses in one-person increments. In contrast, advertising and sales promotion must often be purchased in fairly large amounts. Perhaps the most important advantage is that personal selling is more effective than other forms of promotion in building relationships with customers to increase the probability of obtaining a sale and a loyal customer. The selling process. Selling is a process that can be learned. Experts have spelled out the steps of the selling process, shown in Exhibit 12.8, and professional salespeople use them all the time. These steps are as follows. 1. Prospecting and qualifying. To start the process, the salesperson looks for sales prospects, those companies and people who are most likely to buy the seller's offerings. This activity is called prospecting. Often, many methods are used to find prospects. For many companies, the inquiries generated by advertising and promotion are the most likely source of prospects. Inquiries are also known as sales leads. Leads usually come via networking, social media sites, or through purchasing leads. Some companies supply salespeople with prospect lists compiled from external sources, such as directories, public records, membership lists, or data gathered from online sources. Meetings, such as industry-specific conventions and trade shows, are another good source of leads. Sales representatives attend such meetings to display and demonstrate their company's products, and to answer the questions of those attending. The firm's files and records can be another source of prospects. Customer records and purchase history can be helpful. For example, car service records can help identify customers who might be prospects for a new vehicle purchase. Finally, personal connections of the salesperson can be a source of leads. One guideline is that not all prospects are true opportunities for a sale. Just because someone has been referred or has made an inquiry does not mean that the person is a genuine prospect. Salespeople can avoid wasting time and increase their productivity by qualifying all prospects. Qualifying questions are used to separate prospects from those who do not have the potential to buy. The following 3 questions help determine who is a real prospect and who is not. Does the prospect have a need for our product? Can the prospect make the buying decision? Can the prospect afford our product? 2. Approaching customers. After identifying a prospect, the salesperson makes contact with the prospect. At this point, the goal is for the salesperson to present the product or service. This contact could be in person or through virtual means. At the same time, the salesperson tries to build interest in the coming meeting. One good way to do this is to impart an interesting or important piece of information. For instance, I think my product can cut your shipping and delivery time by 2 days. 3. Presenting and demonstrating the product. The presentation can take a variety of forms. It can be a structured, digital presentation, or it could be a more unstructured, casual conversation. It will depend on the product or service being sold and the individual salesperson's preferred approach. In a structured presentation, the salesperson presents the product or service, outlining the benefits and features being sold. Questions can be addressed either as they arise or at the end of the presentation. In today's business world, in which relationships are most important for long-term sales, canned or structured presentations are not well received, nor do they support the idea of building a great bond with the customer. A completely unstructured presentation that has no set format is a much more successful approach. It may be a casual conversation with the salesperson presenting product benefits and assisting the customer in solving their problems, like a partner on the client company's team, in a way that might interest the potential buyer. 4. Handling objections. Almost every sales presentation, structured or unstructured, meets with some objection. Rarely does a customer say, "I'll buy it," without asking questions or voicing concerns. The professional salesperson tries to anticipate objections so they can be countered quickly and with assurance. The best way to counter objections is to have a thorough knowledge of the product offering so that a solution can be found that overcomes the objection. Often employed in business, the higher authority objection is frequently used when one of the parties says, "This agreement looks good, but I'll have to run it by my committee," or spouse, or partner, or any other higher authority. The result is that sales presentation turns out to be just a preliminary, non-binding round. After the higher authority responds, often disapproving the agreement, the sale goes into round 2 or starts all over again. For example, when a customer wants to buy a house, car, or anything expensive, the salesperson will say, If we find the house or car that you really like, is there any reason you could not make the purchase today? Once they get the green light, the salesperson will spend whatever time it takes to find the right product for the customer. However, if the client says their family member has to give the final approval as they will be loaning the money, the salesperson might consider bringing the family member into the conversation. 5. Closing the sale. After all the objections have been dealt with, it's time to close the sale. Even experienced salespeople sometimes find this part of the sales process awkward. Perhaps the easiest way to close a sale is to ask for it. May I write up your order? One of the best techniques is to act as though the deal has been concluded. We'll have this equipment in and working for you in 2 weeks. If Mr. Bateson doesn't object, the salesperson can assume that the sale has been made. 6. Following up on the sale. The salesperson's job isn't over when the sale is made. In fact, the sale is just the start. The salesperson must write up the order properly and turn it in promptly. This part of the job may be easy for many consumer products, but for B2B products or services, it may be more complex. An order for a complex piece of equipment may include a good deal of documentation. Each detail must be carefully checked to ensure that the equipment is exactly what was ordered. After the product is delivered to the customer, it is good practice for the salesperson to make a routine visit to see that the customer is satisfied. This follow-up call may also be a chance to make another sale, but even if it isn't, it will build goodwill for the salesperson's company and may bring future business. Repeat sales over many years are the goal of professional salespeople.
Concept check. 1. What are the advantages of personal selling? 2. Explain the selling process.
12.8. Sales promotion. Learning objective. What are the goals of sales promotion? And what are several types of sales promotion?
Sales promotion helps make personal selling and advertising more effective. Sales promotions are marketing events or sales efforts, not including traditional advertising, personal selling, and public relations, that stimulate buying. Sales promotion can be developed as part of the social media or e-commerce effort, just as advertising can. But the methods and tactics are much different. Sales promotion is usually targeted toward either of two distinctly different markets. Consumer sales promotion is targeted to the ultimate consumer market. Trade sales promotion is directed to members of the marketing channel, such as wholesalers and retailers. The goal of many promotion tactics is immediate purchase. Therefore, it makes sense when planning a sales promotion campaign to target customers according to their general behavior. For instance, is the consumer loyal to the marketer's product or to the competitors? Does the consumer switch brands readily in favor of the best deal? Does the consumer buy only the least expensive product, no matter what? Does the consumer buy any products in your category at all? Procter & Gamble believes consumers make up their mind about a purchase nearly instantaneously. The first moment of truth, as P&G calls it, is the 3 to 7 seconds when someone notices an item and makes their purchasing decision. Despite spending on traditional and online advertising, the consumer products leader thinks this instant is one of the most critical marketing opportunities. The presentation and packaging of the product is at the forefront of this first impression. In the mid-2000s, P&G created a position entitled Director of First Moment of Truth, FMOT, to focus on in-store displays, recognizing the critical 3 to 7 seconds when shoppers encounter products on store shelves. The company established a 15-person FMOT department at headquarters and stationed 50 FMOT leaders globally. This represented P&G's strategic focus on point-of-purchase marketing during an era before digital commerce transformed consumer behavior.
Exhibit 12.9. Pet owners want to choose the proper diet to keep their beloved animals healthy. There is a market for specialized food choices, which is why many dog food companies are creating specific size and age-appropriate diets. What promotional objectives underlie these practices?
In addition to a distinct focus on innovation and new product development, P&G developed a coupon and savings program to bolster engagement. The program, P&G Brand Saver, gives participants online coupons and points for purchasing the company products that can be redeemed for rewards. Additionally, the company will make a donation to a nonprofit organization of the customers choosing to further their philanthropic efforts and to strengthen the relationship with the customer. The objectives of the promotion depend on the general behavior of target consumers, as described in Table 12.2. For example, marketers who are targeting loyal users of their product don't want to change behavior. Instead, they want to reinforce existing behavior or increase product usage. Frequent buyer programs that reward consumers for repeat purchases can be effective in strengthening brand loyalty. Other types of promotions are more effective with customers prone to brand switching, or with those who are loyal to a competitor's product. Digital coupons, free samples, or an end cap display in a store can entice shoppers to try a different brand. The use of sales promotion for services products depends on the type of services. Consumer services, such as insurance, utilize sales promotions such as multi-policy discounts or discounts for good driving habits. Professional services utilize different promotional tactics. Doctors, for example, will approach sales promotion through more intangible means, such as their patient relations, additional care and services provided by the office staff, or even through the decor in the waiting area. Professional service organizations, such as medical offices or attorneys, benefit from advertising and promotion. Word-of-mouth promotion can be especially helpful, but advertising services through broadcast media, online, and print can also be effective.
Table 12.2. Types of consumers and sales promotion goals. This table outlines how businesses tailor their sales promotions to target different types of consumer purchasing behaviors. By aligning specific promotional strategies with desired business outcomes, companies can effectively influence the buying decisions of loyal customers, competitors' customers, brand switchers, and price-conscious buyers. To design an effective sales promotion, a company must first understand who they are targeting and what behavior they want to influence. Different shoppers require completely different incentives to act. First, we have loyal customers, defined as people who buy your product most or all of the time. For this group, the desired results are to reinforce their behavior, increase their consumption, or change their purchase timing. To achieve this, companies use loyalty marketing programs, such as frequent purchaser programs, as well as programs that encourage customers to purchase the company's brand in exchange for points that can be exchanged for rewards. Next are competitors' customers, who are people that buy a competitor's product most or all of the time. Here, the goal is to break their existing loyalty and persuade them to switch to your brand. Businesses target these consumers using discounts, digital coupons, or added features that create interest in the product. Then we have brand switchers, which refers to people who buy a variety of products within the category. The objective for these shoppers is to persuade them to buy your specific brand more often. This is done by offering promotions that are high enough to encourage a purchase, such as a buy one, get a second half price deal. Finally, there are price buyers, who consistently buy the least expensive brand. The goal with these consumers is to appeal to them with low prices or to supply added value that makes the price less important. To do this, companies might make arrangements with retailers to make the product more readily available than competing products, such as through end cap displays or increased shelf space. They also use discounts and coupons that reduce the price of their brand to match the price of the competitor's brand that would have otherwise been purchased.
Two additional areas of sales promotion are couponing and product placement. U.S. consumers redeemed 870 1 billion coupons in 2024. Over 465 million digital coupons were redeemed, and over 355 million paper coupons were redeemed. Revenues from digital coupons was nearly $11 billion in the last year. A vast majority of coupons distributed, 87%, are paper, but over 2/3 of the coupons that are redeemed are digital. Paper coupons are coming back into the marketplace. Retailers are responding to customers' need to save money and their preference for the ease of paper coupons. The coupons are available through various sources, including in-store, online, and email campaigns. The use of digital coupons is growing, but the older segment of shoppers have expressed frustration with the digital options. Coupons for household goods are most frequently redeemed. The savings from consumer packaged goods is estimated at nearly $4 billion. Data indicate that 55% of customers express frustration when they cannot use coupons when grocery shopping. About 1/3 of shoppers purchase more than they intend when they use coupons, and 2/3 of customers have made impulse purchases because of a digital coupon. Product placement is paid inclusion of brands in mass media programming. This includes movies, TV, sporting events, social media content, and video games. So when you see all the Dodge Ram trucks in the show Yellowstone, or Tom Cruise wearing Ray-Ban sunglasses in the Top Gun films, that is product placement. Product placement has become a huge business. In 2023, companies paid more than $20 billion in the United States to have their products placed prominently in a film or TV program. That figure is expected to reach more than $74 billion globally by 2033. It is easy to go overboard with this trend and be portrayed as a parody, however. In some cases, viewers have a negative reaction to blatant product placement. The placement can be so out of place or noticeable that it distracts the viewer from the scene. For example, in the Walking Dead series about a zombie apocalypse, the characters are often seen getting into abandoned vehicles as they fight zombies. These vehicles are predominantly near-perfect Hyundai models of the current year. Fans of the show found the cars to be a distraction given the condition of the rest of society in the show. Also, some have suggested that product placement might doom the products and companies. Despite the cost and the potential customer response, product placements continue to dominate the promotion landscape. In 2024, there were nearly 15,000 placements in TV shows and nearly 5,000 in movies. In the Challengers movie of 2024, there are 121 product placements. The most frequent brands using this strategy are Apple, Microsoft, Nike, and Coca-Cola. Many large companies are cutting their advertising budgets to spend more on product placements.
Exhibit 12.10. The sports industry is a lucrative option for product placement. NASCAR drivers' uniforms, cars, equipment, and tracks are filled with corporate brands and sponsors. Video games have product placement, such as Fortnite, including products from high-end designer Balenciaga, and Nike shoes are forever immortalized in the movie Forrest Gump. Does product placement blur the lines between advertising and content? And should viewers be concerned?
Ethics in practice. Influencer marketing and product placement. Are they always ethical? Traditional marketing vehicles, such as advertising, have been regulated to include limitations on promotions for such products as tobacco and alcohol. One area that has not had the same type of regulatory oversight has been the practice of product placement and companies working with influencers to market their products. In a classic scene from Forrest Gump, actor Tom Hanks, who plays Gump, meets President Kennedy and says, "The best thing about visiting the president is the food. Now, since it was all free and I wasn't hungry but thirsty, I must have drank me 15 Dr. Peppers." Since Forrest Gump was a family film, this scene could be viewed as influencing kids to drink large quantities of soda, and that doing so might even give them the energy needed to run like Forrest Gump. Unlike other forms of advertising, product placement has not been regulated for as long. However, because of the proliferation of the practice, there are regulations in place in the United States and globally. For instance, in Australia, the Alcohol Beverages Advertising Code, ABAC, has instituted expanded regulation of advertising and product placement for new non-traditional media that had not been regulated previously. Companies are also enlisting influencers to help them reach customers. Influencers might be people who have achieved recognition as an expert in a certain area, or someone who has amassed a large number of followers on platforms such as TikTok or Instagram. The use of influencers has raised concern about the ethics of companies such as Amazon, Apple, and Google when they enlist teachers such as Kayla Delzer, who has her own brand, Top Dog Teacher, that touts her teaching approaches through workshops. Since Delzer incorporates technology into her classroom, She has attracted the attention of both small startups, such as Seesaw, and large companies such as Apple, which provide her with products and services in the hope that disseminating her experiences through blogs, tweets, and workshops will encourage her followers to adopt their technologies. Because there is little research-based evidence that these technologies actually improve student outcomes, this situation presents an ethical dilemma for school administrators. Another ethical dilemma is that some influencers use fake followers to increase the appearance of extended media reach, thus being able to command larger sums of money from various companies for their services. For example, in 2021, half of Instagram influencers used fake followers to inflate their numbers. In a 2017 case, Moscow had about 20 vending type machines across the city where patrons could purchase Instagram likes and followers. No longer operational, this example still highlights the fact that social media stats can be fictional. Critical thinking questions. 1. What is the role of industry, trade groups, government agencies, and marketers to self-regulate ethical practices? 2. Do you think it's unethical to pay people to use products and services that influence consumer purchases? Explain your reasoning.
Concept check. 1. How does sales promotion differ from advertising? 2. Describe several types of sales promotion.
12.9. Public relations helps build goodwill. Learning objective. How does public relations fit into the promotional mix?
Like sales promotion, public relations can be a vital part of the promotional mix. Public relations is any communication or activity designed to win goodwill or prestige for a company or person. This could include publicity, information about a company or product that appears in the news media and is not directly paid for by the company. Publicity can be good or bad. Reports of financial scandal in a nonprofit organization is an example of negative publicity. Public relations includes many other activities, such as lobbying, event planning, managing social media presence, acting as representative speaker for the organization, managing internal communication, and coordinating crisis management for communications. Naturally, firms' public relations departments try to create as much good publicity as possible. They furnish company speakers for business and civic clubs, write speeches for corporate officers, and encourage employees to take active roles in such civic groups as the United Way and the Chamber of Commerce. One of the tools of the Public Relations Department is the press release, a formal announcement of some newsworthy event connected with the company, such as the start of a new program, the introduction of a new product, or the opening of a new plant. Public relations departments may perform any or all of the functions described in Table 12.3.
Table 12.3. The functions of a public relations department. While many people associate public relations solely with writing press releases, a modern PR department actually handles a diverse range of strategic communication roles. This table details the 7 key functions that public relations professionals manage to build goodwill, shape public opinion, and protect an organization's reputation. To manage its reputation and communicate effectively with the outside world, an organization relies on its public relations department to perform several key functions. First, the department handles press relations, which involves placing positive, newsworthy information in the news media to attract attention to a product, a service, or a person associated with the firm or institution. Alongside this is product publicity, which focuses specifically on publicizing the company's individual products or services. Beyond products, PR manages the broader organizational identity. Through corporate communications, the department creates internal and external messages to promote a positive image of the firm or institution. They also handle public affairs, which is dedicated to building and maintaining national or local community relations. Additionally, public relations plays an active role in policy and financial environments. This includes lobbying, where PR specialists work to influence legislators and government officials to promote or defeat legislation and regulation. It also includes employee and investor relations, which is focused on maintaining positive relationships with employees, shareholders, and others in the financial community. Finally, when things do not go as planned, the department steps in with crisis management. This critical function is responsible for responding to unfavorable publicity or a negative event to protect the organization's standing.
Much of sales promotion and publicity is about creating buzz. Buzz marketing, or viral marketing, is elevated word-of-mouth marketing. Word of mouth can be a snowball process where information is quickly disseminated through various channels. And this has become even more the case with social media. This can apply to both positive and negative messages. Often, the marketer does not have a good deal of control over the buzz. When it works well, marketers feel they get more from viral marketing than other forms of promotion.
Concept check. 1. How does public relations differ from advertising? 2. Describe several types of publicity.
.10 Trends in social media. Learning objective. What is social media, and how has it changed promotion?
Advances in technology continue to change the marketing landscape. As you will see in the following sections, marketers are harnessing new technology to hone their marketing message and reach more customers. The business world now relies on the internet for much of its communications, marketing or otherwise. Almost all companies have a strong social media presence, and leaders of these organizations also have separate accounts on professional social media sites, such as LinkedIn. A presence on social media has become almost a necessity for businesses today. The phenomenon of social media has created a business climate in which thousands of impressions can be made with one social media post. That impression could be positive or negative. Within social media, there are stars of social media, individuals who have developed audiences in the millions who follow their posts every day. Social media is a hugely powerful tool for marketers. It has its challenges, though, because the platforms are constantly changing and evolving. Also, there is a good deal of misinformation that can quickly spread through social media platforms. A social media post with inaccurate information, if it goes viral, can have a significant impact on a business, despite the post not being true. That's what makes social media the newest challenge and opportunity for marketers. Companies that want to retain market share and build their image must develop tactics for the use of social media and for defending against problems created by the use of this powerful marketing tool. Promotion through blogs. Blogs provide marketers with a real-time dialogue with customers and an avenue to promote their products or services. A blog is an online journal with regularly updated content. The content, which can allow for response and discussion, can be pushed out via RSS, really simple syndication, or email, or it can be accessed through websites, social media platforms, or apps. RSS enables users to automatically gather updates from various websites, especially news sites and blogs, and display headlines and a brief summary of those updates in a single location. If a blog is not sponsored by the company or hosted on their website, it can be considered a form of social media. Well-run marketing blogs usually focus tightly on one niche area, product line, or vertical market segment. The aim is to provide the blog's readers with a constantly renewing source of news and insight about that topic. In the United States, there are approximately 600 million blogs hosted on a variety of sites, with more than 7.5 million posts daily. This is approximately 3 billion items of content created annually. Many companies have set up their own blogs, including IKEA, Home Depot, IBM, and Progressive Insurance, to name a few. These companies blog because they 1. Get real-time input from customers and prospects. 2. Create and maintain relationships. 3. Can have a continuing dialogue with loyal customers and prospective clients. And 4. Can zero in on specific marketing goals. For example, Johnson & Johnson sponsors a company website dedicated to all things parenting, called Baby Center. The site contains a variety of information in addition to a community section where registered users can post content, ask questions, and interact with other parents. Firms can also use search tools, such as Hootsuite, Brand Mentions, and Mentionlytics, to monitor conversations about their company and brands. A public relations department might then decide to feed new product information to bloggers who are loyal to or potential influencers for their brand. Advertisers jump on podcasts and videos. Podcasts are essentially verbal blogs that are arranged by episode. There are many platforms and technologies available today for people to create their own podcasts and post them for easy access by the public. There are an estimated 4.4 million podcasts available globally, producing over 70 million episodes annually. Besides individuals, companies are beginning to do their own podcasts as well as posting videos from the company as another marketing channel. For listeners, the advantage of a podcast is convenience. Through streaming apps, customers can download videos and podcasts to their devices, or they can watch live and listen in real time. Many news programs have the digital version of their content readily available through their website and/or app. These downloads are generally free of charge and allow users to access the content when it is most convenient for them. Podcasts and videos offer another revenue-generating opportunity as they can sell ad space in the content. Often, these ads interrupt the podcast or video for a short period of time, 30 seconds or less, to share an advertisement. Some are designed where the user cannot skip the ad, whereas others give the user the ability to skip the content forward after a certain time period, such as after 15 seconds. iHeartMedia operates one of the nation's largest podcast networks, offering thousands of podcasts across multiple genres. The company produces original content and also distributes podcasts from its 860-plus radio stations nationwide. Another podcast production firm, Wandery, owned by Amazon, is one of the largest podcast production companies, creating original investigative journalism, true crime, and narrative podcasts that reach millions of listeners monthly. Podcasts are often targeted to specific interest groups, such as parents, those involved in a certain sport or hobby, or with content related to specific celebrities or shows. For example, pet owners can go to PetLifeRadio.com to find a collection of podcasts and information about pets and owning pets. The site has been active since the early 2000s and is a network of pet-related content. The resource shares weekly talk show and podcast content, and often has celebrity guests. Globally, Pet Life Radio boasts over 250 million subscribers. Their service is accessible on demand through various platforms such as Amazon, Spotify, and Audible. Videos have become another important promotions channel. Billions of videos can be viewed on YouTube, the world's largest video hosting platform. As of 2025, YouTube hosts approximately 29 billion videos and has more than 2.7 billion monthly active users who collectively watch nearly 5 billion videos daily. The platform continues to dominate video content consumption globally. Many people now log into YouTube to watch videos on a particular product and how the product can be used. Entrepreneurs and other small business owners have made extensive use of YouTube to provide value to their customers by creating and uploading informational videos that highlight their products.
Concept check. 1. How are companies embracing social media as a way to connect with customers? 2. What has been the effect of social media on traditional advertising?
12.11 Trends in e-commerce. Learning objective. What is e-commerce, and how has it affected the retail sector?
E-commerce is related to social media and other new online platforms because it utilizes the internet for marketing communication. E-commerce refers to the development and maintenance of a company's website and the facilitation of commerce on the website, such as the ability for customers to order products online, to get questions answered about products, and for the company to introduce new products and ideas. E-commerce can include special components designed specifically for separate target market segments. Anything associated with an actual company website related to marketing can be considered e-commerce. E-commerce was nearly 20% of all retail sales in 2024, and globally it is projected to increase to over 22% by 2028. Why? One reason is the economics of shopping. The convenience of shopping online is a key driver of this trend. The time to make a purchase in a traditional brick-and-mortar store includes factors such as the commute to the store, the cost of that commute, finding the products you want, comparison shopping in-store, and other related activities that take time and money. Through e-commerce, purchases can be made more efficiently, saving the shopper both time and money by facilitating instant access to product information of both the product of interest and similar products for comparison shopping. Countless small businesses have taken the plunge to serve the growing population of online shoppers. Many e-commerce businesses, including eJeweler Blue Nile, luggage site Away, direct-to-consumer brand, and Zappos, owned by Amazon, are relying on e-commerce, with reports indicating that 35% of small businesses in the United States use e-commerce as their primary sales channel. The increasing sophistication of search technology and comparison shopping sites have allowed online businesses to market their products to millions of potential customers cheaply and effectively. Often, these innovations are bringing less well-known brands and merchants to consumers' attention. Online merchants can offer a far broader array of merchandise than specialty brick-and-mortar retailers because they don't have to keep the products on store shelves. In response to this challenge from online-only retailers, firms are turning to technology to gain an advantage by equipping their in-store sales associates with tools to more efficiently assist customers, such as tablets to check stock availability at other locations and pricing options online versus in-store. After a slow start, the world's largest retailer, Walmart, has begun moving into e-retailing in a big way. It is now in almost every major category of web-related consumer commerce. It is estimated that Walmart has approximately 200 million items across all of its outlets, compared to 600 million items available through Amazon. The company has taken some innovative steps to leverage the web to drive people to its stores. In 2016, Walmart CEO Doug McMillon, who led the company until January 2026, acquired Jet.com for $3.3 billion and appointed Jet.com's CEO Mark Lohr to run Walmart's online business. Lohr led Walmart's e-commerce division until January 2021, helping jumpstart the retailer's digital transformation. A case in point is the company's online tire service, which allows you to order automobile tires to be picked up and mounted at a Walmart tire center. Customers can order prescription refills for delivery by mail or for pickup at a Walmart pharmacy department. Walmart's online photo service, in addition to providing a way to store pictures on the web, allows customers to send digital pictures to be printed in a Walmart store of their choice, with a 1-hour turnaround.
Concept check. 1. How can brick-and-mortar stores use technology to compete with online giants such as Amazon? 2. What factors contribute to the internet's soaring growth in retailing?
Preparing for tomorrow's workplace skills. 1. Team activity. Divide the class into 2 groups, with one taking the pro position and the other the con position on the following issue. The only thing marketing intermediaries really do is increase prices for consumers. It is always best to buy direct from the producer. 2. Trace the distribution channel for some familiar product. Write a summary that explains why the channel has evolved as it has and how it is likely to change in the future. 3. You work for a small chain of department stores, 6 stores total, located within a single state. Summarize your findings to the leadership of the company, explaining how e-retailing may affect the chain's business. 4. How does supply chain management increase customer value? 5. Think of a product that you use regularly. Find several examples of how the manufacturer markets this product, such as ads in different media, sales promotions, and publicity. Assess each example for effectiveness in meeting one or more of the 6 promotional goals described in the chapter. Then analyze them for effectiveness in reaching you as a target consumer. Consider such factors as the media used, the style of the ad, and ad content. Present your findings to the class. 6. Go to the blogging search sites listed in the text and find personal blogs, both positive and negative, for a brand. Also, report on a consumer good manufacturer's blogging site. Was it appealing? Why or why not? 7. The internet and technology has changed the world of promotion forever. Explain the meaning of this sentence. 8. What advantages does personal selling offer over types of promotion? 9. Choose a current advertising campaign for a beverage product. Describe how the campaign uses different media to promote the product. Which media is used the most and why? What other promotional strategies does the company use for the product? Evaluate the effectiveness of the campaign. Present your results to the class. 10. The Promotional Products Association International is a trade association of the promotional products industry that provides an introduction to promotional products and how they are used in marketing. Read about its Golden Pyramid competition and recent winners at www.ppai.org. Choose 3 to 4 winners from different categories. Now prepare a short report on the role of promotional products in the promotional mix. Include the examples you selected, and explain how the products help the company reach its objective.
Ethics activity. After working really hard to distinguish yourself, you've finally been promoted to senior account executive at a major advertising agency and placed in charge of the agency's newest account, a nationally known cereal company. Their product is one you know contains excessive amounts of sugar as well as artificial colorings and lacks any nutritional value whatsoever. In fact, you have never allowed your own children to eat it. Your boss has indicated that the cereal company would like to use the slogan, "It's good for you," in their new television and print advertising campaign. You know that a billion-dollar lawsuit has been filed against a cereal manufacturer and a broadcast corporation for marketing practices targeting young children. The suit asserts that alluring product packaging, toy giveaways, contests, collectibles, kid-oriented games and apps, and branded toys and clothes are used to promote unhealthy habits in young children, and that the advertising is a deliberate attempt to increase sales by influencing children. In addition, 2 consumer groups have joined the suit citing unfair and deceptive marketing for unhealthy food and habits directed towards children. Your new role at the agency will be tested with this campaign. Doing a good job on it will cement your position and put you in line for a promotion to vice president. But as a responsible parent, you have strong feelings about misleading advertising targeted at susceptible children. Using a web search tool, locate articles about this topic and then write responses to the following questions. Be sure to support your arguments and cite your sources. Ethical dilemma. Do you follow your principles and ask to be transferred to another account? Or do you help promote a cereal you know may be harmful to children in order to secure your career?
Critical thinking case. Advertisers score with the Super Bowl. What sporting event is televised globally in over 130 countries worldwide and has created a quasi-national holiday in the United States? The Super Bowl is considered by football fans as the ultimate game and known as the largest advertising opportunity for media companies that broadcast the game, and companies that want to reach a large audience. The history of impactful advertising shown as part of Super Bowl viewing includes the 2019 ad with Bud Light and the Game of Thrones jousting battle. The ad was only shown once, but it is recognized as one of the most iconic moments in the history of advertising. In recent years, companies have used football's popularity and the Super Bowl as a global program to get their message out to a worldwide audience. While the high cost of advertising during the Super Bowl may deter some advertisers, the impact of ads during this and other major sporting events continues to be effective with viewers and create buzz that ads running in other spots do not generate. One additional thing that advertisers have to consider is the impact of the current political climate and other aspects of players' lives that could create a diversion and affect campaigns. These issues could impact the amount that the networks pay for the rights to air the events and the decision of whether a firm wants to be associated with the event because of certain players or political issues. NFL games, and the Super Bowl in particular, provide a platform for players to communicate their stance on current issues or political concerns because of the large viewership. Likewise, a controversy can occur in relation to the halftime show or by protesters in the stands, both of which have happened in previous years. A large-scale live event always provides the possibility of something happening that could not be anticipated. Companies with creative and adept social media departments can, however, make a positive impact by reacting to events as they occur. For example, during the 2013 Super Bowl in New Orleans, a faulty transformer caused a power outage just before halftime, which caused a 30-minute delay. An employee in Oreo's social media department sent out a tweet saying, "Power out? No problem. You can still dunk in the dark," with a picture of an Oreo cookie on a dark background. Critical thinking questions. 1. Name some of the challenges marketers encounter when developing advertising and promotional campaigns. How does the type of product affect the promotional strategies? 2. You work for an ad agency that has a Super Bowl sponsor as a client. What approach would you recommend for your agency as it develops a campaign, universal, customized for each geographical region, or something else, and why? 3. What types of companies could benefit from placing ads on the NFL website? And how can they use the internet effectively to promote their products? This has been Introduction to Business, 2nd edition, from OpenStax. OpenStax textbooks and this free audiobook are covered under a Creative Commons license. The full text is available at www.openstax.org. You can find this free audiobook anywhere you listen to podcasts, including Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts. Instructors can even download a course shell to easily embed these recordings in Canvas courses. Learn more by visiting www.openaudio.us. Did you find this audiobook helpful? If so, please let us know by leaving a comment and sharing this recording with a colleague or a friend.